Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we're taking a look at a very unexpected Pokemon to be seen in the Open Master League, a level 50 Regice. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, GDSG, so many thanks for the battle submission. Regice is a pure Ice-type Pokemon with the moveset of Lock On, its legacy move Thunder, and for maximum damage, Blizzard. Regice has a massive defense stat, so even though it only gets to about 3500 CP, it should still have some pretty good bulk to it, but damage output could be a bit of an issue, but having the same type attack bonus on Blizzard should help. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches, and we see a Landorus lead in game number 1, the safe switch into the Palkia Origin. Opponent is going to respond with Dialga. No baits here for Palkia Origin. Spatial Rend does force a shield from the opponent. Dialga is now going to be able to farm down. They leave with a massive amount of energy. They easily have enough for the Draco. Lando's thinking about it. Lando calls the bait. It's the Iron Head. That is a massive bait call, as now Landorus will make the Sandsear and be able to pick up a knockout or force the second shield. Opponent lets it go. They don't bring in their Landorus. Instead, they send in their own Palkia Origin. Palkia will be debuffed by the Sandsear Storm, and now it's all up to Master League Regice with a 1 shield advantage to try and bring home this victory. Palkia fires off the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail is going to connect. Regice does actually tank that pretty decently here. We do see that massive defense stat on the Regice coming in clutch. Regice farming up to 100 energy and full sending the Blizzard. Blizzard into the Palkia, gets no shielded. In comes the Landorus. Landorus will just spam out Sandsear Storms, but the opponent is in trouble. They're never going to be able to mudshot down, and they can't make 3 Sandsears. Oh boy, Regice full sends the Blizzard. Opponent calls the bait. Get that Landorus out of here. And that's a good game. Moving into the next match. Oh, what a lead. Leading Landorus into Dialga Origin. Opponent save switches into Lugia. Going to stay in with the Landorus and fire off the Stone Edge. Stone Edge will get some very nice damage. And then I expect to see the Regice entering the field of play. In comes the Regice. Regice farming up energy, even though both charge attacks are super effective. Since Thunder does not get same type attack bonus and Lugia is absurdly bulky, I wouldn't be surprised if Thunder didn't knock out here. So I do like the call to full send the Blizzard. Blizzard shielded up by the Lugia. Regice farming, going for a Thunder this time. I don't think this will quite KO. We'll have to see. Oh, the opponent double shields the Lugia, looking for the farm down, but Regice says no, making one final Thunder. Let's see, is this going to KO? It does not, and the Lugia on 1 HP. In comes Landorus, and the opponent will fire off their energy. Could have potentially tried to snipe with the Dragon Breath from the Palkia to deny the energy, but instead just choosing to fully sacrifice the Landorus and leave it all up to 2 shield Palkia Origin. Back in comes the Dialga Origin. No shields left for the opponent, so they have no way to avoid this Spatial Rend damage since they do not go for a catch. Spatial Rend connects, massive damage to Dialga. Dialga switches at the last possible second. In comes Kyogre. Palkia is extremely low, but due to the Dragon Water typing, the waterfalls from Kyogre are double resisted. Spatial Rend connects. Can Palkia hang on? Palkia gets the farm down, leaves with the Aqua Tail, and has enough HP remaining to survive the Dragon Breath. Aqua Tail KOs, and it's a 2 shield flex and a victory. Another match, and what do you know? Another Dialga lead from an opponent. This time they are running the standard Dialga. Save switch into Palkia Origin. Going to stay in with the Landorus as Landorus is able to outpace, fire off the Sandsear Storm, and then look to switch. And now we have the battle of Palkias. The opponent will be able to make a Spatial Rend. Palkia is more than happy to shield once and farm down, as it will be able to exit with energy that I can use to threaten the Dialga if that's what the opponent decides to send back in. So far, the opponent running a double dragon strategy, and they're running it with 1 on the lead and 1 in the back. Oh man, farming up a ton of energy, not baiting, going straight for the Spatial Rend. Opponent commits the shield. Palkia is going to get farmed down. Back in comes the Landorus, but Landorus has already taken quite a lot of Dragon Breath damage from the Palkia. Calls the Iron Head, that's not enough to KO. In the back, it's Regice, and this could get interesting as the Landorus did take a waterfall before switching. It's deep into the red. This is where Thunder comes in clutch. Thunder looks like it is going to be able to cleanly 2-shot Kyogre. Kyogre has farmed up energy. The shield from Regice. Opponent is only going to go for the Surf. Another Thunder reached. Opponent only one shield remaining. Are they going to shield Kyogre? Yes, they do. Kyogre looking to try and... Oh my goodness, the opponent tries to make it to an Origin Pulse, but they're unable to get there. Thunder KOs. Back in comes the Dialga, and oh my goodness, the Landorus refuses to get KO'd. Sandsear Storm picks up the knockout. That game looked doomed towards the end, but it still ends in victory. Hopping into the next match, picking up a bad lead, Landorus versus Mewtwo. Both Pokemon only take 10 turns to get to their moves, but Mewtwo is always going to win charge attack priority, which makes this a very negative matchup for the Landorus if Landorus isn't ahead on energy. Landorus shields the Side Strike, able to land the Sandsear Storm, and catches Side Strike number 2 onto Regice. This is a debuff Side Strike, Regice able to tank that, but now in comes Ho-Oh. These Incinerates adding up. Regice will return fire with the Thunder. Thunder into the Ho-Oh, does get shielded. Ho-Oh continues to farm. Ho-Oh going over 100 energy, so they choose not to throw their energy. Instead, they're just going for a farm down. They double shield Thunders. A Thunder, even though it's super effective damage, that's from a Regice. It's not going to be hitting very hard. The opponent shielding 2 Thunders, and now they're going to get one shot by a double super effective Stone Edge. So not the most amazing use of shields there by the opponent, as they lose a lot of energy on the Ho-Oh. Back in comes the Mewtwo, but Mewtwo is going to get outpaced here. The Landorus had one extra mud shot. We see, oh my goodness, able to land the Sandsear, snipe with the Dragon Breath, and in the back, it's Dialga, and Palkia Origin will outpace into zeros, connect with a Spatial Rend. That does big damage. Dialga makes it to a charge attack, but this is only an Iron Head. Iron Head is resisted, and the Palkia with 1 HP remaining takes the win. We see same leads in the next match as Landorus is unable to escape Mewtwo. Landorus going to stay in to start. Mewtwo will always throw in this matchup as soon as they get it, so they can guarantee win the CMP tie. Landorus this time choosing not to throw right away, instead just committing the shield and going for the Sandsear. Landorus again choosing not to throw energy and letting this go, not going for a catch at the second Side Strike. The debuff Side Strike does massive damage. Landorus builds up to the back-to-back charge attacks. If the opponent shields the Sandsear, I wouldn't be surprised to see a switch and a catch, and that's exactly what we see. Saving the Sandsear on the Landorus, catching the double debuff Side Strike onto Regice. Opponent sends in Zekrom, and here's the thing. A lot of Regice, at least in other leagues, run Thunder and Earthquake, so the opponent might not know about Blizzard. That connects, dealing massive damage. Fusion Bolt will knock out here, just gonna let the Regice go. Opponent goes for the Crunch, expecting... Oh no, they were expecting the shield, but the shield does not happen. Regice gets the KO with the Resisted Thunder, and down goes Zekrom. They're not gonna show the third, they send in Mewtwo. In comes Landorus. Landorus has a big energy head start, over farming and going for the Sandsear right before the opponent makes the Side Strike. They're going to shield and go for the Side Strike. Tough call to make here as the Landorus. Landorus will commit the shield. Landorus builds up to the Sandsear, banks it for later. In comes the Palkia, and the opponent sends in their final Pokemon, which is revealed to be Dialga. So the opponent must have been expecting the Earthquake on the Regice, and that's why they chose not to send in the Dialga. Spatial Rend connects. Dialga returning fire with the resisted Iron Head. Dialga gets the farm down. Landorus withstands the Dragon Breaths, leaves with the Sandsear loaded. So back-to-back Mewtwo leads, making life complicated, but able to get back-to-back wins. We see a much better lead for Landorus in the next match as it leads into Dialga Origin. And Dialga staying in this matchup, maybe try and go for a catch, and there it is right on cue. The opponent also timing it so they get a free Dragon Tail through as they catch the Sandsear onto the Lugia. Lugia going to be answered with Regice. The Lugia does have an energy head start, but that energy does get debuffed by that Sandsear Storm, so the Aeroblast is not going to be particularly threatening. Immediate no-shield from the Regice. It's the Aeroblast, and that's not going to be a problem. Regice farming up. The Lugia has taken a lot of damage. I think a Thunder might actually be enough to knock out here, and it barely does. Back in comes Dialga, but this Dialga is going to prove to be a massive issue. Dialga does not have to respect the Blizzard. It's going to get to farm down. It stored energy when it switched out after making the catch. It gets a ton of energy by farming down here. The Landorus is completely dry. This Dialga could very well run away with the game. This is not looking good. Calling the bait. It is the Iron Head, but getting outpaced. It's another Iron Head. We see the shield from the Landorus. Landorus banks the Sandsear, sends in the Palkia. Opponent at the last second sends in Dragonite. And this looks like a winnable game now. Dragonite does extremely poorly into Palkia Origin, as Palkia does more damage per Dragon Breath than it takes. Palkia at the back-to-back Aqua Tails, despite the fact that Palkia had taken a lot of damage coming into this matchup, it's already almost caught up. Grabbing both shields, the question is, was it able to get it into a range where a double resisted Sandsear Storm KOs? The Sandsear Storm KOs, in comes Dialga, but the Dialga tanks the Mud Shot and takes that game. Mewtwo returns in the next match, and it just makes Landorus' life difficult every single time. The opponent doesn't throw right away. I guess maybe they're on Ice Beam, but still, as the Mewtwo, you win this straight Psystrike, regardless. They do overfarm quite a lot. We see the immediate no shield by the Landorus. It's only the Psystrike. Landorus is going to switch into Regice, and the opponent fires off the Psystrike as soon as they get it. Psystrike is debuffed. That's not going to do a ton. Opponent is going to look to bank quite a decent chunk of energy and then send in Dialga. No baits for the Regice. Blizzard connects, dealing some nice damage to the Dialga. Regice farming up, unfortunately unable to make Blizzard number 2 before the Iron Head is reached. Regice committing a shield. Regice going to try and flip this, and with that, a bait is required. Does the opponent respect it? They do, and now it's a race. Can Regice get to the Blizzard? Regice gets to the Blizzard. How well does the opponent know Regice counts? The Blizzard connects, and down goes Dialga, but in comes Mewtwo. Mewtwo gets a massive Psycho Cut farm down, and this is a problem. Mewtwo up energy is going to be really tough to deal with in this endgame. Just going to sacrifice the Landorus, but there's already another Psystrike ready to go. Palkia commits the shield. It has to be a really good matchup for Palkia to have a chance, and it is. It's the Giratina Origin. The Giratina Origin, I mean, they can land a Shadow Ball. This is the Zeros, but a Shadow Ball is not going to be enough to KO. The Aqua Tail does get shielded. This is going to be tough. I think a Spatial Rend will have to be reached as it won't get into Aqua Tail range. Just able to get the Spatial Rend, but there's still the Mewtwo in the back. Can Mewtwo make a move, or will Palkia get Psycho Cut down? It's going to be the race, and the Palkia on 1 HP. That game looked lost, but able to clutch the win. We've got a bit of a scary lead in the next match. Landorus into the Shadow Ho-Oh. Landorus looking to overfarm. Landorus, making a very, very risky play there. Playing to a CMP tie versus an Incinerate user. Personally, that is far too much risk for anything that I like to do. Opponent is going to send in Giratina. Giratina will be debuffed with the Sandsear Storm, and either one of these back Pokemon can do quite well, choosing to send in the Regice, as Regice's good matchups are a lot more limited than Palkia, so basically just guaranteeing a non-terrible matchup for the Regice. Opponent went for an Ominous Wind bait versus a Regice, and now it's Blizzard time. This Blizzard, we saw how much it did to a Zekrom. That's just going to KO the Giratina. In the back, opponent has Dialga Origin. Dialga will get outpaced, Blizzard will be reached, and this should do around 50% of Dialga's remaining health. Dialga throws the Iron Head. They don't overfarm by a lot. They threw the Iron Head pretty quickly. The Iron Head will pick up the KO. In comes the Palkia. Palkia taking quite a lot of damage. Palkia will be able to make it to the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail should knock out unless the opponent commits the final shield, and they will. They are looking to protect the Dialga. Dialga able to make the last second charge attack with a fractional HP left. In comes the Landorus, and the opponent, they didn't save the shield for the Ho-Oh. And that's going to be goodbye Ho-Oh as the Stone Edge connects, and Mudshot KOs Dialga. Hopping into the final match, Landorus leads into who else but Mewtwo once again. Mewtwo, Psystrike, shielded by the Landorus. Landorus returning fire with the Sandsear Storm. Sandsear Storm onto the Mewtwo, does get no shielded. We should see 5 Mud Shots and the catch onto Regice just like clockwork. Now the question will be, what does the opponent have to punish the Regice counter swap here? Their counter swap is going to be Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh farming up, and we will see Regice go for the Thunder. This is super effective damage, but compared to a Stone Edge from a Landorus, this of course would do way less. The opponent doesn't want the Regice to make another Thunder. They actually go for the Sacred Fire, but now Landorus can come in, outpace, make the Stone Edge, and we know this just straight up KOs. Opponent lets it through. They do get KO'd. Landorus makes the Sandsear Storm. This should come very close to knocking out here. Is Mewtwo going to shield? Yes, they do shield. Mewtwo going for a charge attack. It is going to be the Side Strike, and we see the shield by the Landorus. Landorus wants to debuff whatever's in the back. Landorus will be able to make the Sandsear Storm, and this is going to knock out. What does the opponent have in the back? And it's a Dialga. Dialga is going to take so much damage from the Sandsear, and then we'll see an immediate switch into the Origin Palkia. Palkia, these Dragon Breaths, applying a lot of pressure and getting the farm down before Draco Meteor is reached. All in all, Regice is a Pokemon that I don't think I've ever faced in the Open Master League, so it's very cool to see someone, when it came back in raids, say, you know what, I'm a fan of Regice, I am going to do a bunch of raids, get a bunch of XL candies, and power it up. It goes without saying, Regice, not necessarily a Pokemon that I'd recommend for climbing by any means. Regice would really enjoy if there was like a 3750 ELO Master League format that dropped at some point, like something where the stat products overall were a bit lower, because its coverage, having that Bolt Beam coverage is quite nice, but its damage output just isn't quite what is needed when going up against these extremely bulky Pokemon. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our members here on YouTube. The support guys provide is sincerely appreciated. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.